obviously he's not open to creative financing, only open to a cash deal. So just wondering if the price is any good.
So, let's take a look.
Okay.
I'm always, equity is $695. And he's asking, how much is he asking?
Right now, 630.
$630. Okay. Well, the good news is he knows that the market is no longer what it was 6 months ago.
Right.
Holy mackerel, man. I mean, if I had a quarter for every idiot that I talk to on a regular basis, it's like, yeah, you're trying to get 300,000 for a house that wouldn't sell for 100 6 months ago. I don't understand. Okay. Well, that valuation looks pretty good, but what I would do is pull my comps over the last 6 months. Boy, you're not doing anything on that one, huh? Okay. All right. So let's see what we can see about this. The equity's 95%. So he's willing to take a ping on his equity. That's kind of interesting. I mean, that does mean that he needs to sell it. There's no question of that.
Yeah, he's desperate.
Yeah. Last sale was $65K in 2020.
That's interesting.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, I was just to say. I mean, I hope he like gold plated the toilets or something, because it's like I'm trying to figure out.
65.
There's a big jump. I don't know, but that's what I've got here. That doesn't mean that that's the I mean that's necessarily the gospel. I usually try to check a couple of 3 different places, of course, because going with just one place is usually.
Well, if there's been renovations done,
It's entirely possible, but again, it doesn't fit the storyline, because the storyline is, it's owned by dad and mom and what have you. So I'm just always trying to kind of work on that piece. So he's got it for sale for $630 on here as well, as a FSBO. Price cut of $69,000. That's kind of interesting. Huh. Wonder why he cut it that much.
yeah, there's a lot.
That's a big cut.
There's golf course lot, 3-car garage, geothermal and floor heating. That's kind of cool, because this geothermal in-floor heating, that's what we had in Korea. Man, I love that stuff.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like the water's heated. It's going through your flooring. It can be really good until it's the middle of winter and there's something stuck somewhere in there, and it's like, okay, we're not getting heat across it. And it gets to be kind of like guys coming in with a jackhammer in the middle of winter. That's not fun.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a cold winter. All right. So price change. That's interesting. Listed for sale at $975. Sold for $65K. Now that's saying 2013.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, well, he told me the house was built, his parents built it in 2015. So if there's a sale at 65,000 in 2013, that makes more sense. They probably bought the land and they built on it.
That could be. I mean, and there may have been like something standing there before and they just scraped it off too. I mean, there's a lot of different possible scenarios. So he's asking 630. I always like to look at this map just to kind of see what the rest of the neighborhood looks like. Got a 829 down there, 610, 1.3 mil. Wow. Okay. This is kind of one of my favorite things about Zillow, is you can actually kind of look at the whole street. Because that kind of tells me a lot right there. Like right next door, they're putting that out there at 1.3, which is really a good sign for what our guy's asking. 11. But then when I go on this other way, got 2 lots on that. Is that what that is? It almost looks like this lot's empty. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
which is, I mean, that's good. It's just that we don't really do a whole lot with land, but, in fact, we don't do anything with land, but doesn't mean that it's 820. There's one other place I'd like to look. What are you doing to me? Here we go. Hang on here. It should be there. Okay, good. All right. PropStream is usually pretty good about kind of giving me the inside scoop on a lot of things. That's where I can kind of use a general rule. Find a lot of information about like liens and that's interesting. The equity is less here. Average cost is 602. Okay. Comps nearby listing. This is okay. There's 6 local comps. So they've got 6 comps. Public records to MLS. So actually 630 is pretty much retail.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? In fact, their average comp is 618. Now, a lot of the times these public record sales, I kind of keep those out of the equation because some of those are, you know, situations where it was like some sort of different sale that, say for example, like a tax, you know, something to where the person, a public record sale can be a lot of different things. I typically, what I like doing is just taking a look at the MLS and see what that gives us. It's up to 647, but again, that's really at retail. Is he open to discussing like a lower rate on that thing?
I think there's still room for negotiation as far as the price goes. I just don't know how much.
Okay. Okay. So he's got a couple other properties, probably his.
Yeah, it's got the real, yeah.
Agricultural unimproved. So he's buying some land as well. Or he's bought some land. So according to this, it's with the Bank of America, and he only owes like 336. So it sounds like to me like he should be willing to kind of negotiate. Honestly, looking at these comps and kind of seeing what I see, it's got an estimated value here of 712. But I just don't know that I would 100% trust that with the kind of market that we've got.
Right.
Especially when I'm looking at these comps that are, you know, a good 60,000 less at the very least, and possibly even less than that if we add in those other sales. So what I'd be doing is I'd be asking just like, well, you know what, I can give you a cash price, or we can revisit terms. But if I give you a cash price, let's just say that we were to go with, hold on here, I'll even say 650. Is it the house in good shape? I mean, somebody could move into it as is.
Yeah, he said he needs some cosmetic work, but everything else is in great shape because it's really not that old. The house was built in 2015, so seven years.
Okay. Yeah, 7 years shouldn't be too bad, right? I mean, you know, I always tell people, hey, I can swing a paintbrush and a mop with the best of them. I've done it in more places than I care to remember. You know, and so if I got it under contract and I knew that we were getting ready to, you know, move it on, then that's what I'd be doing. I'm looking at somewhere around 520, 530, somewhere in there. As like
525.
yeah, 525, 530, somewhere in that neighborhood as the max that we could probably go on a cash deal.
Okay.
You know, but cash is always going to be less than what we could do on a creative deal, which is the sad part.
Right.
You know, as well as you know, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, on a creative deal, you could probably get him that amount, you know, because you're going to say, okay, you know, let's do this on a sandwich, and all of a sudden, you know, boom, we're here. You know, but is he like? Is he aware of like? I mean, does he just have like this drawback on the word creative, or is? I mean, how did you phrase that when you talked to him? I'm just curious.
Well, obviously, first when I was presenting a creative offer,
Yeah.
not really an offer, but I asked him if I can get him the a price that makes sense, would he be open to either lease purchase or owner financing? He said no because of the situation the dad passed, the house is empty. He just want to be done with it.
I
Not
got
have
you.
to, cause
Okay.
so I think there's also the situation where a lot of people in a situation like this where a loved one passed away, they don't want to hold on to it. They just want to sell it.
Yeah, get rid of it.
They're willing to take a big cut on the price and just be done and not have to attach to it anymore.
Well, that would be a big cut on the price, you know, if we did this on a cash deal. One of the things that I would throw out there is this. I'm just trying to think of like, well, how about this? You know, how about if I were to take this property from you, but you were going to be getting monthly payments, you know, and then try and do it on like a sandwich lease or try and do it on something along those lines, because I mean, I'm just giving you fallbacks for if he just balks at 520 and says no, or 525, 530. Again, if you could even get it under for, 530, 540, I would go ahead and get it under contract, and then we can work from there and just kind of see if we can, if we need to drop it down later on, we can, depending on what goes on in the market. But if he balks at that, I would try and kind of reframe and just say, this is the best I can do in cash. But if you're willing to just take payments over time, I can get you a better offer on this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That might be the way I would approach him, because a lot of people, I'm finding this, okay, when I call, this is what I'm finding. As soon as the words creative finance come out of my mouth, it's like, it's like if you were to say certain, there's certain key words that you say and people are just like, and I don't care what it is. It could be obviously Donald Trump comes to mind, but whatever the word is that you say, people are gonna have a reaction, and those are the words I just stay away from. Like real estate investor. I have so many people when I never use that term, real estate investor, because as soon as I say those words, they're like, oh, I heard about you guys. I heard about you. You buy houses, you're a property pirate. And it's all of a sudden it's like I'm Blackbeard of the pirate of all properties lost, and I'm like, no, actually, if it's not a win for everybody, I don't go to a closing table. And I mean, I pull out examples like we had a partner in Arizona. I love this guy. His name's Graham, and he was working a pre-foreclosure, and the guy said, you know what? The hospital told me, or the doctors told me, I've only got 5 months to live, so screw it. Let the bank come and get the house. I mean, he's just bitter. He's angry. And Graham's, who's always pretty fast on his feet, he thought for a minute. He goes, well, you know what? I don't blame you, but how about we do this? How about we see what I can do with it, and if I make this work, and God forbid, knock on wood, but if you're not around, we will make sure that whatever profits coming your way goes to your favorite charity. How would that work? And the guy all of a sudden just kind of opened up. It's like, wow, you mean you're not a jerk? You're not a property pirate? Because it's just there's so many people these preconceived ideas, and it's just like for years, people, because my wife's from Korea, for years people have been going, oh, you must be good in math. I'm like, what? And it's like, actually, she's terrible at math, but I mean, she's great at ESL, thank God, but because she's over teaching it right now. But yeah, in the math, so it's, people have these preconceived notions, and sometimes it's really hard to kind of shake them up. But those are the numbers I'd be looking at for a cash. And I would just kind of try and see if I could reframe his mindset around the whole creative side, because obviously he's going to, he might want more than that. I mean, or he might just say, you know what? Okay, that's fine. But what you do is you plant the seed in his mind, and then he's on a follow-up. Just say, okay, well, listen, do you mind if I call you back in a couple of weeks and see how things are going? It's that continuous building of rapport. And I've got, like, for example, I told all our people, I said, you should be sending out thank you cards last Wednesday and Thursday, because this is the season. And today I'm calling people who I messed up and didn't send them a card. And tomorrow I'm calling the people who I sent them a card just to wish them a happy Thanksgiving. And make sure that, my realtors and my contractors and the people in my follow-up file, like this guy, know that I'm wishing them a happy Thanksgiving, because it's just continuous, building rapport kind of thing. But,
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
Alright.
great, thank you, appreciate it.
I was just gonna say that, hi Wendy.
Hi, Kara.
That when you were saying creative financing, because I haven't really heard that term before, but when you said it, I'm new to this. The first thing I was thinking, someone might think, "Oh, you're just gonna make up something and hope it works." And what if it doesn't work, and then I'm stuck with this property, or I could have gotten something from someone else, but no, I went with you and whatever you just came up with, so yeah, I can
I'm
see
sure.
how that would make somebody kind of
I'm
like,
sure a lot of people feel that way, or it's something that they are not familiar with, and they just say no.
yeah, right, because they don't know, so they're just like,
Yeah.
no. And they don't want to say they don't know, because they don't want to appear to be stupid.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
as soon as you say the word creative, even, it's like creative like Picasso, or creative like, there's a difference there. One of these things is not like the other, So it's kind of say, look, you know what? I can make this work, however it would work for you. Because here's the thing: I've never been at a closing table where somebody looked across this closing table and said, "I swear, if I had a gun, I would plug this guy." I've never been in that situation, and I will never be in that situation, because the first thing you have to have in this business is empathy. The first thing you have to have in this business is, I understand, I hear where you're coming from, I'm listening. This is one of the things I really love about Zach, who is with the Wicked Smart Guys, is I can tell he listens really well. I got to spend a good bit of time with him at our live event, and he was just listening. And just he's a great, and that's what you got to have in this. If you can't listen, this is going to be a hard, it's going to be an uphill road, man. It really is.
Yeah, I normally don't say creative anything. I just say, hey, let's do something different.
That's good. Yeah. You'd be willing to do something different, I can get you more money.
Right.
But what
Okay,
do you do different? Well, let's just say that in a perfect world, you got the perfect amount that you wanted for this property, but you're willing to take that over a 10-year time period. Would you be okay with that? And oh, by the way, that's going to save you on capital gains.
Right. That's the big one. That's the catch.
Capital gains 40%. They're going to come in here and just they just took away everything that you were trying to get here.
Right.
So, yeah. That might be how I'd be framing it, because that's what I'm having to learn with creative, because we're moving into creative. It's a slow move, but we're doing it slowly on purpose, because we want to make sure that we've got the infrastructure there. But one of the things I'm learning with creative is, like, it's one of those hot buttons. I don't care whether you say Democrat, Republican, Christian, Buddhist, whatever you say.
Yeah.
There's these certain things that people just tag in with it, and it's just like, so yeah. But yeah, go try that out, Wendy. And the thing is too, is like, this too is like, every appointment you go on is a great opportunity to learn, but it's also a great opportunity to make connections and contacts and that kind of stuff. Are you in a local RIA in your area?
no, there is like a local real estate thing. It's not a RIA, but it's created by a local realtor. I went on one. There was only a few people, and I felt like it wasn't. I don't know. It was mainly people who she got a few people on the Zoom call, and it was property manager. I didn't really. There was one investor in there, and that was it. So I felt like it was too small to get much of anything out of it. So they're focusing on, like, buy and hold it for long term.
I got you. Yeah. And I don't mind that if it's in a good area and I can do it as an Airbnb, but I don't want a regular long term. You know what I mean? I mean, if I buy and hold, it's going to be STR. It's good. Like I'm sitting in one of my, I've got a couple of Airbnb units in this property. I've got another property that's got 3 Airbnbs. So, yeah, unless it's in the right location and everything, then I'm interested in long term. But otherwise, it's like,
Yeah. Yep.
See, we've got one over in Wilmington that's over on the coast, of course, just south of OBX, and it's like pretty much everything they're geared for is like VRBO, Airbnb, and these kind of things that are short-term rentals. So yeah, I'll drive 2.5 hours to go over there absolutely all day long, you know, because I want to meet those people. I want to get connected with those people because that's kind of, you know, that's kind of my thing. So, but see how the appointment goes. Jump back on
Okay.
that.
Well, good luck, Wendy.
Thank
Good luck, good
you.
luck.
Thank you, appreciate it. I'm gonna go to the appointment now. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye.
I'm getting off, guys. I have something I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, there's always something.
Oh, always, never a dull moment. This was great. I'm glad I was able to hop on this morning with the
Yeah,
call,
I'm
and
glad
then
you're
also, so I was like, are we supposed to be in this coaching? I'm like, that's good. I wasn't sure, but I'm glad we got on. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, that's the main thing that I like the coaches room for. Yeah, you can get some numbers and you can get some tips and everything else, but at the same time, you're surrounding yourself with people, and some know this, but they don't know that. Some know, you know, and so you're just continuing to learn. That's something that I've been in a lot of different, you know, had a lot of books and been in a lot of different programs, so I've never seen that. You know, I've never been around that where you literally have this kind of connectivity pretty much any time that it's, you know, that you've got during the day. You know, now I would say that there are people who, you know, send me a Facebook message, you know, and they'll send me a Facebook message at like 7 o'clock at night. I look at my, oh, okay, phone's got to go in the other room. You know, I'm not gonna answer it, you know, but yeah. But,
yeah.
Now, I do a lot of deals at night. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm that guy.
All right.
I do a lot of deals at night. I don't know how that happens or why. It just does.
Well, that's when people are home.
Well, that's also when people are up late worrying about their
Yeah,
problems.
that's true too.
And they can't sleep because they're. I used to do insurance, so I used to make phone calls in the middle, send text messages in the middle of that. Because I want to help you, but at the same time, I know you're up all night because you're worrying, you're stressed out about, you know, whatever's going on, and you know I can help you with that, and then that way tomorrow night maybe you can get some rest.
Yeah. See, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Really, that's-
Yeah. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys later. Glenn Person, I messaged you the
Yeah, man.
the
You
thing.
shout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, I got 25 more minutes anyway before, you know, I got 25 more minutes before I got to start swinging this thing. You know, hey, I got it all around me, man. It's just here, you know.
Yeah.
But,
He's living through a flip right now.
yeah, I am now.
It's kind of cool.
So I understand a lot of it. It's all current information for me, you know. But good, Karen.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
But